Join Kids Hut family.
Tia, I have good news.
Really? What is it, Tofu? Tell me quickly.
I have the option to become a part of either of the teams. Both teams want me for the next week's match.
That's wonderful. So, what have you decided?
I haven't decided as yet, Tia. I'm thinking I should see which of the two teams does better in the next few games. Then I will join the winning team.
That's not the right approach, Tofu. It shows you to be cunning and disloyal.
Why?
Well, let me tell you the story of the bat, the beast, and the birds. The bat, the beasts, and the birds. Once upon a time, in a dark jungle, there broke a dangerous fight between the beasts and the birds.
We will not tolerate the beasts anymore. They feed on us, make preys out of our children, and behave as if they are the rulers of the jungle.
Yes, we agree with you, our leader.
But we need more support from other birds. Currently, we are losing. We must reach out to every bird in the jungle to join our army. We shall find strength in numbers. What do you say, Minister?
Everybody has agreed. We just need to ask the bats now. I am sure the bats will help us win.
Very well then. Invite the leader to our court.
The bat leader was invited to the court of the leader of the birds.
Bat, we are in a war against the beasts. Why don't you join us?
The bat leader wasn't sure that it wanted to join an army that was losing.
I am honored by your offer, but I am afraid I cannot join you. I am, after all, a beast.
A few days passed. The beasts started losing.
We need to grow our army, otherwise the birds will defeat us. They drink from our lakes, live in our trees, yet they behave as though they have more rights on the jungle than us. Minister, who can help us win? My leader, the only ones who have not joined the fight as yet are the bats. We could ask them to join us. Very well. Invite the bat leader to our court.
And so the bat leader was invited to the beast's court.
Bat, the war between the bird and the beasts of the forest is at its peak now. Whoever wins this last battle shall win the war and rule over the jungle. Why don't you join us and help us win? You too will rule the jungle along with us.
But the bat was once again unsure that it wanted to join the losing side with the beasts.
I am honored by your offer, but I cannot join you as I am a bird.
Just before the final battle was to take place, both the bird and the beast leaders met. They were both upset by the losses their armies were suffering and decided to make peace with one another. The war was called off.
We will not fight anymore.
Yes, we will live in peace now.
The whole jungle celebrated the new peace in the land. When the bat leader heard of this development, he went to the birds and asked to be a part of the celebration. But the bird leader remembered how the bat leader had refused to help the birds during the war and turned him and his kind away. No bird would even talk to them now. The bat leader knew that if he took his people to the beasts, they would simply tear them apart. And so he did not approach them. Hence, he and his entire kind lived in isolation without any friends in the jungle.
Oh, I don't want to be alone, Tia.
In that case, Tofu, you should not behave cunningly like the bat leader, and you should inform the team that you want to join right away.
Yes, Tia, I will do that right away. Thank you, Tia, for making me understand this. Hey, Tia, can I use the new colors you just bought? I need to draw and color a bird for my science assignment. Sure, Tofu. Here you go. Thanks, Tia. Hey, Tofu, I am very hungry. Can I have one of the chocolates you bought at the store? Actually, Tia, I bought them for myself. Can't you wait till dinner? Tofu, you're so selfish. You're like the selfish giant. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Let me tell you about him and then you can decide. The Selfish Giant. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful garden. It had big trees laden with fruits and many flowers of different colors and fragrances. The grass was so soft that it felt like a cozy bed.
Different birds sang melodies in the garden the whole day long. The children of the village loved playing in the garden. They would come there as soon as school got over and would stay till evening. In the far end of the garden was a big castle. People often said that the giant who owned the garden used to live there. But it was empty now. Nobody knew what had happened to the giant, and they thought he would never return. Till one day, the earth shook and there were loud thumping sounds. With each thump, the children were lifted off the ground and back again.
Oh no! It is the giant!
It cannot be. Why has he returned after all these years? The giant saw all the children in his garden and yelled loudly.
What are these children doing here? This is my garden. Get out! Get out of here!
All the children got scared and ran away. The giant then built a large wall around the garden so that no one could ever enter it. The next day, the giant went to the garden, thinking that he will pluck some fruits and flowers. But the trees were so sad without the children that they shed all their leaves and fruits and lay bare. Even the flowers that had blossomed became so sad that they went back into the ground.
Oh, I feel so sad. I don't feel like dressing up with my leaves today.
Yes, without the children, even I don't want to come out. I wish the giant had never returned.
Who will I sing for in this empty garden? I am leaving.
As time went by, winters came and passed. When spring came, it was lush green everywhere. The roadsides were filled with colorful flowers and green trees. Everyone wondered how the garden must look too. But with all the sadness present in the garden, spring did not come to it. The garden remained frozen. The only ones happy in the garden were snow and frost. With no spring to melt them, they became the masters of the garden.
I will cover every tree of this garden so that it looks white.
And so it went and covered every tree till all one could see was white.
I am going to invite the north wind to join us here.
The icy cold wind swept over the garden. It knocked the chimney pots off the castle and rattled its roof. Then the naughty wind had another idea.
My friends, let's invite hail over too and claim this garden as ours forever.
Soon hail came down on the garden. all four of them got together and caused havoc. Hail and wind attacked the castle roof every day and took off its slates one by one. One day, while the giant was lying in his bed, he heard beautiful music come in from his bedroom window. He thought perhaps the king's musicians were passing the garden. He looked out of his window and saw that a small bird was sitting on the window ledge and singing.
Has spring finally arrived?
He looked beyond into the garden. The icy wind had stopped blowing. The snow was melting and frost was vanishing. Hail couldn't be seen anywhere. Instead, he saw the most beautiful sight.
The children have broken into the garden.
Some children had found a hole in the wall and had entered the garden from there. They were on every tree and were happily sprawling on the grass. The trees were so happy that they covered themselves with green leaves. The flowers also came out, and the grass was smiling gleefully. Even the birds were chirping new happy tunes.
What I did was terrible. I was selfish. I should have never ever blocked the children out of the garden. I will go and correct my mistake now.
The giant went out and broke the wall down.
From now on, this garden is your playground forever. The children were so happy that they hugged the giant.
From then on, the giant played with the children every day. As time passed, the giant grew very old and tired. He wouldn't go out to play with the children. He would only watch them from his window. One day, he saw a little boy crying. So he went to see him.
What is the matter, little boy?
The boy's hands were bleeding. This made the giant very angry.
Who has hurt you? Tell me his name and I will punish him.
The little boy calmed the giant and said, "Calm down, my friend. These are wounds of love." Then the boy took the giant's hand and took him to the Garden of Paradise with him. After some time, the other children came to where the little boy had been. They found the giant lying on the grass and covered with white flowers. He had died with a loving smile on his face.
I really was being the selfish giant, Tia. I am so sorry.
Yes, you were.
I will change that immediately. Here, please have some chocolates, Tia.
Thank you, Tofu. I am happy that you have changed, but it is dinner time already. I will now have the chocolates for dessert.
What is the matter, Tofu? I wanted to be the class leader, Tia, but I didn't win the poetry contest last week, and today I accidentally dropped the fish bowl and it broke. My teacher had to put the class fish into plastic bags and take them home. Oh, yes. I'm sure I won't become the class leader now. I'm sure no one in class likes me now.
I understand why you feel like that, Tofu. But don't lose hope. Even the worst situations can lead to something nice.
I don't think that can ever happen, Tia.
Well, it happened to the musicians of Bremen.
Musicians of Bremen? What happened to them?
Musicians of Bremen. Once upon a time, a man had a donkey. When the donkey grew old and sick, the man decided to kill him and sell his skin. The donkey understood his master's plans and ran away and took the road to Bremen.
I will go to Bremen and become a musician.
On his way, he saw an old dog lying in the grass.
Dog, what are you doing here?
I have become so old. I cannot gather the sheep for my master like I used to, so my master beats me.
Why don't you come with me to Bremen? We will become musicians there.
The dog agreed, and the two new friends continued their journey. In some time, they came upon a cat sitting by the road. Looking like the skies were about to come down on him.
Cat, what's wrong with you? Why do you look so sullen?
It is my mistress. I have grown old and cannot chase the mice like I used to. So she has planned to get rid of me by drowning me in the river.
Oh, that's not nice. I have an idea. The donkey and I are going to Bremen to become musicians. Why don't you join us? You can sing a jolly tune too.
The cat liked the idea very much and made his escape with his two new friends. They had only walked a while when they came upon a cock. He was singing without a stop.
Cock, what is wrong with you? This is not the hour for you to sing.
Well, my mistress is having a big dinner party over, and she has instructed the cook to cook me for a soup. My head will be cut off this evening, so I'm singing till my neck and throat are intact.
Is that it? We all are going to Bremen to become musicians. Why don't you come with us? After all, you already know beats and tunes.
And so the party set forth on their journey to Bremen, which was still very far. As night fell, They felt tired and hungry.
We must find a spot to eat and rest for the night.
Everybody agreed and they decided to look for a place to spend the night. In some time, they came upon a lonely house. Its lights were lit and they could hear the sounds of a gathering from inside. The cat climbed up a tree and peeped in from an open window.
It is a gang of robbers, and they have delicious spread of meats and drinks before them.
I could use a couple of bones with some meat right now.
And I could with something to drink. My throat is parched.
Let us find a way to drive the robbers away.
The four friends huddled together and at last came up with a plan to drive the robbers away. The donkey put his front feet on the ledge of the window and the dog climbed over his back. The cat climbed on the dog and the cock flew on the top of the cat's head. Once they were ready, they all performed their music together. The donkey brayed, the dog barked, the cat mewed, and the cock cock-a-doodled. The music was so loud that the windows of the house shook and threatened to come down upon the robbers. The robbers were scared by these unimaginable sounds and quickly flee from the house. As soon as they were gone, the four musicians took over the dining table and fed themselves full. Once they were done, they switched off the lights and went to sleep.
I will sleep on the straw.
I will sleep by the door.
I will sleep upon the hearth by the warmth of the fireplace.
I will sleep on this beam of the house. Soon they all fell asleep. A little away from the house, the robbers watched as the lights of the house went off.
We shouldn't have been scared like this. One of you go back in and tell us what is going on inside the house.
And so one of the men made his way back into the house. The house was so dark and quiet that he went to the kitchen to strike a light. But he mistook the cat's shiny eyes for coal and put a burning match to them. Shocked by the attack, the cat jumped on the robber and scratched his face. This scarred the robber and he ran towards the back of the door to find a way out of the house. But in the dark, he accidentally stepped on the dog that bit his leg. All the commotion woke the cock and he came flying down to land on the robber's head. and cried, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo." Ultimately, the donkey kicked him out of the house with his hind legs. The robber ran to the rest of the gang.
"Chief, the house is haunted. An evil witch lives there. She scratched my face. At the door stands a man with a knife. He cut my leg. In the backyard is a monster that hit me with a club. And on the roof sits a judge who screamed, 'Bring the knave up, too.'"
Hearing this, the robbers got on their horses and left the house forever. But everything went so well for the four musicians that they decided to live in that house forever. And never made it to Bremen. So you see, Tofu, even when you think that nothing is working out, all you have to do is keep trying and things will turn around.
Thanks, Tia. I always feel so much better after talking to you.
You're always welcome, Tofu. Hi, Tofu. Should we go play?
Hi. Actually, my friends are waiting for me.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Tia.
Anyone wants to hear a story?
Yes.
Okay. Peacock and the Crane. Once upon a time, there was a really beautiful peacock, and he knew that he was beautiful.
Look at my tail. Has anyone ever had such a beautiful tail? My feathers are so gorgeous.
All the animals disliked it when the peacock behaved like that. But he didn't care. One day, he came across a crane.
Hello, Crane.
Hello. Have you seen my feathers and tail? Aren't they beautiful?
Yes, it is.
I agree. It's the best. Unlike your pale tail. So colorless and boring. I, on the other hand, look like a king. Yes, that may be so. But can your lovely feathers help you to fly? Like I can? High in the sky, amongst the clouds and the stars, high enough to see the beauty of the earth? I think not. You just stay here, close to the ground, like an ordinary cock. The peacock had nothing to say to the crane. He no longer felt as proud of his feathers as he used to, and he realized that there was more to life than just looking beautiful.
That's a great story, Tia. And I realize I must go apologize to someone.
I thought you might feel that way after hearing this story.
Well, please excuse me for a moment. For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hut family. Subscribe here.